perfect. Okay, so this is help me, the Light,
Be the Light Scholarship.
which is a lovely title.
Yes, it is.
Be the joy, be the kindness you want to see in the world.
Exactly. And it's funny you mention that because this whole scholarship is because it's a legacy from her mother. Her mother was always happy, being the light, being the joy. So she was like, you know what? My mom was a John Tyler high school graduate. I want to give back. So she gives back to kids that are zoned to 75702. So
Okay.
anybody who was going to school there, zoned to there, you were able to apply for the scholarship, and it tells you having to write an essay. You have to write one-page essay and at least have two people to give you recommendations. So that could have been your teacher, somebody from your job, somebody from your church, just to give you a recommendation. And the students were able to receive $500.
Okay, so where'd you upload this by chance?
I put it in your
Oh, perfect.
folder. It's a little.
I got it right here. I was searching for it. Okay,
yeah,
so
no
you
worries.
got to talk to not only the person behind this, but who else?
I actually got the chance to speak to Francesca Oskin, who is actually going to Stephen F. Austin.
Oh,
She's one
wow.
of the graduates that received the $500. So she was telling me a little bit about how she's going to use it. She's planning to go to school there for psychology, trying to help people. And I just thought that was kind of ironic how she's trying to help people enough. She just got the help for a scholarship. So it was very.
Spark Tomorrow 22. Can you tell us what exactly does this consist of?
Well, Spark Tomorrow 22 is my take on let's be a bright light. Let's not talk about what our future scholars aren't doing, but I always say if you don't have your hand on them, do not put your mouth on them, and let's be a bright light for their tomorrow. Why 22? I'm born May 22nd. I felt like that was a very important day. So Spark Tomorrow 22, we are a life coaching, motivational speaking company. And so what our aim is to do is to build up women and children, because I'm a firm believer as a school principal. This is starting year 29 for me. I can work hard in a school, but until I develop the women, the households, I'm not going to make that breakthrough really in a child's life. So in 2023, when we launched Spark Tomorrow 22, what we were able to do was do some women conferences. The goal of those conferences was to bring a variety of women together so that we could be a bright light in their timeline. We just want to be a boost, be a lift. And so in that lift, we found that there were some young ladies that just needed inspiring. And then as I was trying to inspire, the Lord would take my mom and give her home to glory. So we lost my mother in November 2023. That grief process put me inside out in all the things of where is my spark? And by early 2024, I finally found a way to harness all of that grief energy into something positive. And everybody I bumped into would say, your mom was just so inspiring. She was so uplifting. She always made me smile in Walmart. Or she would make my day when I was here at CVS or Ross. And so then I started saying, that's it, a bright light. My mother was a bright light. And so I started in 2025, the very first Phyllis Shackelford Be a Bright Light Scholarship. It is exclusive to just scholars residing in 75702. Why? From 1953 until God called my mother home to glory, she lived in the 75702 zip code, and she was true to 75702, and I wanted whoever was a recipient of the Phyllis Shackelford Bright Light Scholarship to reside in her zip code. Since last year, we were able to this year expand it. While it's only a $500 scholarship, but we were so excited that within 1 year, we would expand it to 2 recipients this year. Who knows? Next year, the goal could be 3 or maybe 4, or maybe the monetary amount goes up. But we just want to be a bright light. And when my son, one of her grandsons, heard about this interview, he said, Mom, he said, Granny Phyllis's legacy lives on. And I said, that's the whole goal of all of this. Spark Tomorrow came about because a lot of my friends were like, do you realize how many organizations you talk to, how many people you lift, how many people you coach and guide and mentor, and you don't get paid for it? Have you ever thought about starting your own company? You are such a bright light. You lift so many people up. So no, I just thought, you know what, let's have a company that signifies being a bright light. And then as I was in all of my dismay and dealing with the grief and the darkness of losing my best friend, my mother, I started saying she was a bright light, and so many people were saying that, and I thought, there it is. And so maybe the heavens just knew, and I always tease everyone that my parents knew that Katrina, my first name, means to cleanse or to purify, and Nicole, my middle name, means victory. So I'll tell people all the time, my parents knew when they birthed me on May 22nd, I would have clean winds. I would just say at all times, be honest with yourself. I was trying to continue my women's conferences the way I was doing them prior to losing my mom. When I was first doing the conferences, I was talking about my book. My book is Hostile to the Wind, 14 Principles for Surviving the Curveballs of Life. Well, I thought I had nailed it. You follow these 14 things, you can survive life. Well, then life dealt me a blow that I had never dealt with before. And I kept searching and searching, and I finally had to come to grips with, I'm not okay. So I think the very first thing when you're dealing with grief, and as the recipients found out this year, the day we were giving them their scholarships this year was almost canceled because the very next day we had to funeralize our father. And so what I have found, though, that you really just have to find that core space where you dig in and say it's okay to not be okay. But then after you find those pieces that are scattered and you're thinking about their legacy and you're thinking about the shoulders that you stand on, you just ask yourself, how can I take these broken pieces and use them to be a bridge for someone else? So I think, one, admitting when you're not okay. Grief counseling is okay, and I am an ordained minister, but I do know that that Bible is important to me, but there's a place for grief counseling, and I'm already in it from losing both of my parents within 3 years of each other. And then also then just what can you do? So many times we would love to be a LeBron James and open a school, and we would love to be an Oprah and launch all kinds of things for those in need. But what does $500 do for someone else? Maybe just that thing that they need. What can you do with your resources to be someone's bright light? I had a minister that used to say, you are either a weight or you are a feather. And so I like to remind my brothers that we are feathers. We lift people up. So if that's a hello, if that's a $500 scholarship, if that's an encouraging word, if that's mentoring, but we just aim to be a bright light and be a feather.
And before we get into the scholarship part, I did want to touch bases on something that you mentioned when you were saying that your son, which is, you know, the grandson of your mother, right? When you mentioning, you said, hey, she is still living through. How did that make you feel when you heard him say that out loud?
Oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever. Because there's so many times where I have declared in this week, I'm the matriarch. Like, I'm my mother's oldest female descendant. And so that we have to continue to tell the oral history of our family and keep it pushing forward. And for him to utter back before I could even stamp it. And I said, I just sent, like, I've been contacted by KLTV anchor, and they want to view the story about grandmother's scholarship. He goes, she lives on. That just, it lifted everything inside of me, because that was the thing. Like, as I think about her not being here with me, and when I think about what maybe her name eventually does mean in the 75702 community, that lifts me up even higher.
And with that name being on, that goes to the next question, right? With the scholarship, how important, I know that you said that the whole point of the zip code was because she was at that zip code. How important is it for you to let the young ladies know, like, hey, this is out here for you. These opportunities are here for you?
I like to remind those young ladies that I found out recently that our parents met in the summer of 1970 at Wilder Park at what they used to call a Thursday night social. And that I am here maybe 2 weeks away from defending my dissertation and being Dr. Katrina Collins. And I stand on the shoulders of two people that grew up here in 75702. So anything is a possibility. If you stand on foundation, if you keep your ear to wisdom, anything is possible. So I like these young ladies to know that this scholarship represents so much to our family, and that we just want to be a little jump start to you. We won't pay for tuition. We'll probably decorate portions of your dorm, but we just want to make sure that her life and the way she lived it with greeting, hello, my mother. If anyone sees this story, they'll go, oh, Phyllis, she didn't meet a stranger. My dad kept you laughing. So between the two of them, they taught us that it was important how you treat people and that everyone deserves a hello, and work hard for what you want, and you can go far in life.
And just to end it off, the last question I do want to say is, dealing with this scholarship, what all did it entail? What did these young ladies have to do to submit to get the $500?
I'm glad you said that, because there's some familiar faces that know me. But I haven't lived here in 22 years. I'm a 1994 John Tyler graduate. I was class president, a cheerleader there, and I am too involved in Tyler people. My mother was one of 11, my dad was one of 16. There's no way I'm going to grade these essays and packets and it not be biased. I know too many people. So I have the participants submit to the email. I have a panel of judges. One judge is from Milwaukee, one judge is from New York, one judge is from Dallas, Louisiana, and Houston. They're educators that I know but are not connected to Tyler. I send them the packets, I give them a rubric, they send me back the winners, and I go, wow, let's see who these people are. And so they have to submit an essay, they have to get reference letters, and then from there we're looking to see who really is exuding that bright light within what they are going to do next with their degree. And the scholarship committee speaks. And then I notify and tell the young ladies or people, it's not exclusive to just females, who the winners are, and it's such a delight. I loved it that when we met at the event to give out the scholarship, the young ladies giggled, laughed, hugged, they knew one another. That's a wonderful feeling. I just want everyone to know, look out, we'll be back next year. This is an annual scholarship. We will more than likely add to that my father's name. I told my sister-in-law jokingly, I said we probably will call it Be a Bright Light and make someone smile or make someone laugh scholarship. But we do plan to add both of their names to it in their honor. And we're hoping that maybe there's 2 $500 scholarship recipients again, or maybe next year, you never know. We may be blessed and fortunate enough to make it 2 $1,000 scholarships. We just want to make sure that all 3 of us are John Tyler graduates, and that's myself and my brothers, and we just want John Tyler or those graduates to know, scholars in the 75702 community to know, we see you, keep shining, someone's looking out for you, apply, apply, apply. You never know if it will be you.
I want to go to school for psychology. I want to help maybe kids or adults in whatever they're going through, or maybe a marriage counseling. I was in Sources of Strength at my school, Tyler High, and it just made it be a bigger thing and just made me want to look in more into it. I feel like people come to me for advice, so it just made me feel like I should major in psychology and see how the brain works and help people that need it.
That's awesome. And Ms. Alta, is there something that triggered you or made you be like, you know what, yeah, this is for a sure thing, I'm going to go for psychology?
Yes, I was talking to my dad about it, and I was just like thinking more into it. Like, I feel like, again, people come to me for advice, and I feel like it's very interesting to learn about the brain and how it works. So, yes.
And so you received a scholarship, right? Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about how that process worked? How did you hear about it? What all went into it?
Yes, ma'am. So I was at school and I seen the scholarship on like the scholarship wall, and also my dad sent it to me. He said he knew their whole family. So I was like, let me just go ahead and apply for it. I had wrote an essay on how I wanted to help like be in psychology and how it could help like people around me, and I got 2 recommendation letters and I sent that in. Mm-hmm.
And how important was it for you to apply for the scholarship?
It was really important because it will help with me going to school, because, you know, not everybody has everything. So just a little bit of help, or even a lot of bit of help, would just help a lot with going to school.
And when you received it, can you walk me through the emotions? Unfortunately, I was not aware of it, so I didn't know right then and there, but now we're doing an interview, right? So can you walk me through the steps, the emotions that you were feeling, Ms. Austin?
I was feeling really excited. I just want to personally thank God, because out of hearing what she said, like how many people out of state like picked me out of anybody that applied, just really like feels like a really good moment. And I was really excited to see that I got the scholarship, because like not everybody gets that. So I was really excited, and I went to tell my people, and everybody was really happy for me.
And with that opportunity, right, because it was only selected for that zip code, with you knowing that and knowing that, hey, a lot of people are probably going to apply, you know, did that kind of open more doors for you to understand, like, hey, there's a scholarship that's actually for my community, for the, you know, the city that I grew up on? Did that make you feel some type of way, or make you feel happy that there was actually a scholarship, or that was actually for you that you could apply to?
Yes, ma'am, because like I said, there's not a lot of scholarships just for Tyler. Like, there are scholarships for everywhere. So it just feels really good that they chose to have a scholarship for people around here in Tyler.
And one last question. Dorm room, books, what do you already have planned on how you're going to spend your $500?
Yes, ma'am. I actually put it up so I won't spend it, but yeah, I want to spend it for like dorm room or just anything that else I want to spend it on, like how I want to decorate. I'm really big on decorating, so I was just really excited to get this money.
Awesome. And one last question before I end this. If you could give advice to the other young ladies that are probably going to apply for next year, right? Because they're going into their senior year of high school. What are some tips or advice that you can give them so they can get prepared for applying for the scholarship next year?
First, I just want to say, just pray about it and talk to God, because like you never know, like He will choose you. Like, you might be the chosen one. So really pray about it, because He is in everything, and just believe that you will get it. Keep praying about it and talking about it, because you will get it. If you say, I am going to get it, you are going to get it. So just believe and keep praying. So I want to say thank you for choosing me for this scholarship and just believing in me and reading my story.
Now, again, we have more details on this scholarship and the story behind it all. Of course, you can watch it later tonight in our newscasts, but kltv.com, kterry.com, if you want to share with your friends, your loved ones, just so they can hear more about how lovely the story is, and not only just the inspiration to continue to be a good person, be that light, but also how to